Alright, so in this video we're taking a look at the C5 fuel system. I'm going to be replacing the fuel pump and addressing the check valve in the rear and then installing a hot wire kit. I think this will apply to 97 to 2002, and I think after that they swapped to the C6 fuel system. So the reason I'm doing this is because I have a consistent, the car won't start on the first crank. It'll crank and then it'll just crank for eternity and sometimes backfire, and then second crank it always starts. And I was doing some reading and on some forums. Quite a few people were saying this rear check valve can be the culprit. And if you're smart, you'll, check pressure at the fuel rail and diagnose and find the root of the cause. But I just replaced all these parts. So if you're having troubles with that, maybe check out this video. Ended up jacking it under the jack point there, and then putting the jack stand back here. It's also important. Ew, what the fuck is that? Ew. Alright, I'm underneath the car here. I don't know exactly. I think it's right here. I think you have to get this panel off. This one. I don't know if this needs to come off to get to the check valve or not. The exhaust pipe's probably a little closer than OEM because, yeah, don't look at those, but I don't know how well it's going to get off, but I'll let you know. Alright, just spent 45 minutes looking for a fucking 13mm, but that takes me to the next segment here. This is going to be a 10mm right here, and then a 13 right here. And then I think this is going to come off. Oh, she's fucking crusty. Oh, fuck, she's gross, dude. Oh, it's zip tied onto the hydro line. That's why it's not coming off. Okay, hold on. Alright, just spent 20 minutes looking through the toolbox for the fucking nippers, like I'm running quests for mechanic in Tarkov. And they were over here, under this rag. Alright, I got it off. And I think... Damn, it looks really hard to get to. I think the check valve is right. It's the one with the line, the Y. So I think that's it right there. But I gotta figure out how to get it out. And I also got a new fuel pump, so I gotta swap that out. Alright, so it looks like the lines go up and then over to the fuel filter right there. I don't want to take the exhaust off because it's a pain in the ass. I also just saw that it looks like the diff is leaking, which is pretty rad and cool because I just resealed the entire drive line. I'm pretty fucking stoked on that, dude. I don't think anybody saw this coming, but I unplugged the fuel pump and fuel came out. So just be on the lookout for that, please. Okay, this blue one leaked like a medium amount of fuel. There was like a lot of fuel that came out of the green, and this one was as dry as my ex-girlfriend. So bear that in mind when you're pulling these out. I don't actually know what each of these do, but I know that something ain't fucking working and I'm gonna fix it. Just a note here. This one's labeled with a blue tag and it goes to the green little connector, and this one's labeled with a green tag and goes to the blue connector. Kind of weird. I don't know. This one has a black tag. It goes to blue. I thought the fuel tank was like pretty close to empty, but it's not looking so hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Alright, hey guys, it's me again. I got a lot of gas-soaked rags now, so I'll probably use those to make some Molotovs later. My fuel tank said it was on E. I haven't driven the car in like 2 years, so I couldn't remember if I put gas in it, but I guess I did. The gas does not smell good, but the car was running. So just be ready. Be ready. Alright, the great spill's coming to a closure. I got that much in the bucket and a lot more on the floor, so I'm gonna clean this up. Alright, yeah, she fucking blows. It's kind of like a woman giving birth. You're like, oh, there's no fucking way that shit's coming out of there. But you just gotta pull it out and finagle it a lot and twist it a lot. And then she'll come. Alright, I finally got it out. If you ain't got the fucking Zeo Sickles model, I don't think this rear brake duct's here. Just pull it towards you. I had to finagle it like up and out. I think I might pull this off to put it back in. We'll see, but it's out. It's out of there. It's out. I'm gonna get the fuel pump swapped. I'm not gonna record it because there's a video on it. I'll post it in the description. There's a guy that shows how to do it. I got an aeromotive something. Once I get that swapped, I'm gonna figure out how to get that check valve line out, and then I'll show you guys. All right, I just got this fuel pump taken apart. I kind of wanted to show everybody how I did it because this part was really hard to get out. It sits inside of here with the fuel pump in there, and it's just a bitch. This one, you just kind of have to stick screwdrivers in here and just pop them out. You work them around. There's like 3. And then when I got to here, I couldn't get it out. I was drawing it out. A lot of people were saying stick 2 picks in each side and just pull it out. But I don't know how you could hold the canister tight enough while you're holding 2 picks and pulling on it. Maybe if you have another person, maybe. I couldn't get it to work. So what I did was I popped the end cap off right here with a flathead and a hammer. And I just stuck a flathead in there, and I just smacked the shit out of it with a hammer, and then it popped out. So that's how I would get that out. Well, that's a way to get it out, right? All right, here she is, Yarshi Blows, done deal. It's gonna kind of sit in the fuel tank in this orientation. So I've kind of got the sock to where it's not blocking the float, and it should be okay. I mean, it looks pretty good. I messed up the soldering a couple times and had to extend the wire. But as long as it's not making metal on metal contact and sparking, I think it should be okay. The fuel sock was a concern of mine, just because we're going from, you know, this to about 1/8 of that. But we'll see. It's kind of like a bucketless setup, even though the bucket's still there, because it's kind of just hanging now. So I'm gonna try to finagle it in there. We'll see how it goes. A lot easier to get in there than it is to get it out. I put the float in first. I still had this disconnected. I put the float in first and then just kind of finagled it from up here in, and then it kind of went in pretty easy. I'm just going to reattach the float and put these bolts back in. It should be good. All right, I've gotten the part with the check valve undone, which is the black hose here, and then it goes up to the 2 lines that connect to the fuel filter. You can't see them. There's one. It's really dark. They're both hanging right there. There's one, there's 2. Problem is, those cross over the frame rail, and it's really tight. It really doesn't want to come out. And I stuck my finger up there, and there's like, I don't know, like 0.5 millimeter of space for the cable to go through, for the hose. I'm tempted to cut it, because I might just make new ones, but I'm going to see if I can finagle it out of there for a bit before I give up and cut it. Okay, I lied to you. It was a real bitch to get out. It's going to be the first one on the fuel filter right here, the one that's closest to the transmission, and then this green line back here. And you're going to have to unhook them, and then just try to shove them into this far left corner up here. I'm sorry, it's very blurry. But there's a little hole that they go through above the frame rail. And once you get them kind of snugged in there, you can just yank from the bottom. And I finally got it out. It was a bitch though. But yeah, that green line up there. And I would probably undo that one too, just because you can wiggle it. And that's the blue tab line down here, the other line on the fuel filter. All right, here it is. What I was hoping to do is just swap out the check valve. I don't think it's gonna be feasible. You can see there's an arrow indicating what direction it's going. Right there. I don't think it's gonna be feasible though. It kind of sits in the car like this. Here's your fuel filter. There's that green line up there. And then there's the connection to the hat of the fuel pump. So I'm gonna try to heat this up and see if I can pop it out. I have a fuel, or a check valve. It's a lot bigger than that one, but I'm gonna see if I can just heat it up and pop it out and then swap it with the one I have. We'll see. Might get lucky. But this shit's make your car not starty. All right, so I kind of fucked mine. This is pretty doable though, making this happen. I broke my hose up here earlier. I didn't realize it until just now. So I mean, this one's kind of fucked anyways. But as you're heating it up, there's like an inside on the tubing, and I pushed in the check valve, and it's like another layer in there. You can see it kind of folded up. If you're very cautious, I think you can make this work, which would be pretty sick if you could just swap the check valve, because it's like an $8 check valve. So I would try that, but be more cautious than I was when you're pulling these out. And then also whenever you're pulling the original check valve out, just heat it up, carefully pull it out, and then I would wait for it to cool down a bit and then try to squeeze this bad boy in. It might work, I don't know. All right, here's how it's looking so far. I got the little end adapter. I think it's 3/8 fuel to Barb adapter into a real weird T. It's a, oh, it doesn't say, but it's 3/8, and then 5/16 up here, and do another piece of 3/8. We're gonna check valve. We're just gonna copy it. And I got some hose I stole from O'Reilly's when I worked there. Some 3/8 fuel line. Wait.
3/8 fuel line, not for fuel injection systems. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, I'm gonna Google that, hold on. All right, so upon further inspection, there's a difference between fuel line and fuel injection system line. I didn't know. This says good for, as you can see, 50 PSI. But I have this sketchy Amazon stuff, which says 300 PSI, which just looks to be a much lower quality hose. But hey, fuck it, I'm gonna use it. It says 300 PSI, whatever, dude. All right, so here's what we're rocking with now. I had originally bought the fittings to remake the whole thing. And this is like, those four, there's a fifth or sixth one somewhere. There's like 60, 50, 60, $70 worth of fittings. But I actually realized I could just heat these up with the heat gun and pull out the old fittings. And then I don't have to deal with the clamps in the car either, on the top of the hat or the fuel filter. But if you want to rebuild it, I'm going to explain to you what they are. So this is a fuel filter fitting to Barb fitting 3/8. And this is going to be a 3/8 to 3/8 with a 5/16 Y. There's like one on Amazon by AC Performance or something. And then this is just a cheap check valve. We go up here. This is a 90 3/8 fuel fitting to Barb. And then on this last hose right here, this is a 5/16 straight fuel fitting to Barb. But I mean, if you got your old one and it's junk, just heat gun them out. They're kind of hard. I had one that was kind of fought me, but with the razor, I got it out. And I think this is gonna work pretty good. I got my ear clamps on there, and I'm gonna try to get it in there. The only thing I'm concerned about is the size of the hose is far larger. Oh, also you're gonna need obviously something to cut the hose, and then 3/8 fuel hose that's good for like above 60 PSI, because I think that's what the fuel system's at. And I actually don't. This is a mystery one. I don't know if this is good for 60 PSI, but I think this is the return, so it should be okay. If the car blows up, I'll let you know. All right, I've had once again another epiphany. This is the 5th time. I sound like, what's his name? Paul, before he turned into Saul, and he just went and told all those guys the same story over and over again. Anyways, I'm going to take these end fittings off, both of these, so they will slide up in there and around the frame rail. Because I don't think, with how thick the hoses are, with the end fitting ons, I'm going to have a good time. But I think I can finagle it with them off. All right, I'm going to go. All right, after painstakingly jimmy jamming my hand up in there, I got it all up in there. None of the hoses are crazy taut or anything. I think it's going to work fine. The thing I'm worried about is that worm clamp on the big hose right here. I don't know if I got it far enough down. We'll see if fuel starts pissing out or not, I guess, right? I don't know how else to tell. I don't remember how long that extension was. I think that's enough, but I would have liked to have it more down. It's just the way some acoustic fella built this exhaust, and it is so hard to take off and put on. It's just not worth it to me. But if you do this and you just drop this pipe right here, this, I don't know, mid pipe, I guess. I don't know what you call it, axle pipe. This is probably pretty easy, honestly, man. The hardest part being the hoses fished out originally. Honestly, though, you could just cut them. I mean, unless you're going to try to just swap the shindig. But I think it's all good. I think it'll work. It looks pretty good. You can see... you can kind of see the check valve up there. It's that silver piece right there. You can kind of see it. But I got all ear clamps on everything, and then I used the original fittings. And I think it's going to be all right. Hopefully the car will start on the first crank, and then after I turn it off and turn it back on, hopefully it'll start on the first crank again. We'll see. All right, I redid the worm clamp that I was concerned about. Now I should just have to run this hot wire kit, and then it should be good to go. So I'm going to try to snake it through the transmission tunnel. We'll see, though. Sometimes I'm doing shit, and I'm just like, damn, if I'd done this a little bit sooner and been a little more mindful, this would be a lot easier. All right, here's what we're working with. Got it grounded up here, and I fished it underneath. I'm going to the trans tunnel. I don't want to use the fender rocker. I don't think it's a good idea. It'll probably be fine, but I'm a little acoustic myself. So, all right, it's fed up through here. You can't see shit. Fed up through here for now. I'll zip tie it up there somewhere. And I've got it going through the trans tunnel plate shindig. And it's kind of long. It's a couple feet. So I'm at the halfway point right now. Oh,
And I've got the shindig pulled through the shifter here. So I'm going to reattach it to the coat hanger that I was using. I don't know where it went. And try to feed it all the way through. All right, I'm just kind of jimmy jamming this here coat hanger with the harness extension wrapped around it, in and out and about. I don't really remember what's in there. I'm kind of just doing it in hopes that it'll pop out the bottom. I really fucking doubt it's going to work, but that would be sick. If you work in any type of corporate environment, you probably have an IT department. Just go steal. They have these things called fish tape for running wires in the ceiling. That would be really good for this. And if they don't, you know, like want to give you access to it, just beat them the fuck up because they're fucking nerds and take it. I'm not having a very good time. I've never had a good time working on any of these machines. Oh. All right, I've come to a wall here. I'm hitting something. Problem is I don't have a fucking x-ray and I can't see what it is. I'm trying to think. I think maybe it's the bell housing, but I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. Okay, we just got a little bit more. Oh, we're getting more. Ooh. Oh, this is... Ooh. 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 Oh, it's gonna... Ooh, I've run out of... Ooh. Okay. Look at that fucking money, dude. Alright, as long as I didn't pop one of the fuel lines down there with this slightly sharp bit, we should be good. I just gotta finagle it up through the wiring here and make sure it's away from the headers. Alright, here's kind of finale. Here's the harness, the fuel pump. Just gotta hook her up right here. Got it run along the back. Let's see if I can get you. That's it right there, the only open wire loom, or wire shield you can see right there. If I had more cheesy ass gold foil, I would put some on. I ran out a while ago. But it's pretty far away from the header. It's good. It's a good few inches, and it's got that shield on it, and then it's behind the steering column, shaft, whatever it's called. It should be good. But yeah, I think it should be good. Let's see back here. We don't have much extra fuel. I gotta route it up and make it look... Okay, it's a little hot. That's a little concerning. Oh, that's... Okay. Okay. Well, that's not good. Alright, false alarm. I just had to be adjusted a little bit. It's good. It's wrapped up around here. I just gotta go through and zip tie it up. Zip tie it up against this brake line, probably. It's kind of fed up through there. And then you saw it on the other side. So it should be good. So to recap, you just need one of them shindiggies unraveled. Alright, and then you start back here, you tape it, or hook it around the adapter. Fish it through. Come to your shindig here, and then you fish it through to the hootenanny. And then you pull it up through. You just gotta be mindful, try not to pop any of the fuel lines. I'm obviously not gonna be able to see unless you have fucking x-ray. But I don't, so... Alright, final look-sees on the fuel pump harness. Got it snaked up here. It's just kind of living here. I'll probably zip tie it somewhere, but it kind of just wants to chill out over here at the maximum extended length, so that's good. Zip tied right here, just so it's not hitting the belt. I've got it snaked into the boot, so it looks kind of nice and OEM-ish. And then wires just sitting back behind there, kind of snaked up here. I think it's gonna be good. I didn't zip tie it anywhere down there. I didn't feel like it was gonna. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I think it's gonna be fine. I mean, I guess I could throw one right there, but I don't think it's gonna be alright. And coming around to the back. This looks like 2x1. This looks pretty fucking sick, dude. Alright, let's round to this ground up here. Down to the hat. Alright, there's my hat. Here's the hose I made earlier. Looping around here. Zip tied right here to the brake line. And then one more right here. And that's the whole thing. That's it.
So fingers crossed it doesn't blow the fuck up, you know, from the fuel that I didn't properly seal on the line.